Welcome back. Rhapsody in Justice is a satirical comedy that examines the pain and frustration experienced by many Black and Brown communities following the results of the 2016 election. The film explores the social and political landscape along with the events that led to that unforgettable moment. Writer, director, and producer Anthony J. Dixon and actress Imani Logan join me to discuss. Thank you both so much for joining me.
Thank you.
I'm really
Thank you for
excited to
having
talk
us.
about this because I remember 2016, and a lot, a lot was going on. But with that being said, can you just discuss, what kind of led to the creation of Rhapsody in Justice?
Well, yeah, what you just said, Trump being elected threw me. It surprised me. Being a New York person and, being around a bit longer than you guys, I was very familiar with Trump. In fact, from one of my first jobs out of school working at an employment agency, we actually got an order to fill a receptionist position at the Trump Tower. It didn't take long because they were direct to find out that the particular area that they were going to have this receptionist, no people of color are to step in this area. So that, from going from knowing about Trump as this bombastic, individual in the city, to knowing that he was a bigot, and his organization, manifested that. I knew when he went on to The Apprentice that all of that was just a lot of phony baloney stuff, and so to elect him president threw me for a loop, and I wrote a song, and the song developed into a rhapsody of different songs. And then someone I had come in to record said, "Do you think about making a video?" And I was like, "Well, what's that? How do you do that?" Make a long story short, we ended up turning it into a full featured film.
Now, with that, I definitely want to highlight the fact that it is a comedy, satirical comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to explain?
Yeah, I want to
talk
clear
about,
that up a little bit because it's comedy. You got to put the drama in it because truthfully, it's not a, drag out, ha 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 thing. It is very pointed in the direction of a lot of truth that we try to do in a humorous way, because what we are putting out there, sometimes truth is a little hard to swallow. And that's why I think some of the brilliance of the Daily Show or Stephen Colbert is actually giving you the truth, but putting it in a way that, okay, don't get too mad. So yeah, there's it's a comedy drama, not just comedy.
Thank you so much for sharing and clarifying that.
Yeah.
Now, Imani, I want to talk to you and talk about the character that you play in this film. Can you tell me a little bit more about what it was like to be a part of this, and understanding the genre of the film? Was that a challenge for you to kind of convey these themes in this type of way?
Yeah, I mean, I had a really fantastic time working on it. The character that I play is Keisha Taken, who becomes Sister Truth. And talking about that satirical comedy and drama to it, she's known as this mistaken person who often gets things wrong. She's a little bit naive as she opens up into this world of becoming this producer of a cable news station. I think that she has a lot of passion and a lot of creativity, but she has a lot to discover. And I think throughout the film, you see her discovery go from a place of uncertainty and putting too much trust in the wrong spaces to blossoming into this powerful, dominant woman who is able to protect others and create an impact that is just so monumental. So I learned a lot about myself creating this project and going on this journey. We've had so many moments where things have been, just very hectic, and we had to discover a lot and figure out how to make things work. We worked independently on this project, so it took a lot of hands on deck to just fill in as many jobs as we can to just make this work, and it was a wonderful experience. So I was really happy about it.
Now, I want to talk about the fact that the film is set in Harlem from 2016 to 2020. Can you talk about, Harlem is just so full of life and is a character in itself. Can you just talk about, the importance of focusing on Harlem in particular, and what significance did that bring to the film?
Well, I was born and raised in Harlem, 153rd and Riverside, right next to the Trinity Church. And, you know, as a youth, I ventured all around Harlem, da 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 da. And for me, most media, be it TV, film, or news, had always focused on, you know, some of the most down and out areas, giving the illusion, creating a delusion that Harlem is this wicked looking and feeling and dangerous place, and it is not. It's a beautiful community. So it wasn't a lot of thought to kind of say Harlem. And then, you know, we also filmed a lot in the Bronx too.
That's cool. I love to hear that.
Yeah.
Now, you know, Imani, were there any personal feelings that you may have had from real life that you used to help kind of form your character and bring the character to life?
You know, I would say that for my character, I usually separate myself from my character so I can discover what they want, what the journey is, and what we're here to discover. For myself, I'm really big on finding the right research, the right facts to be able to support the decisions that I make in developing the character. So it's about the research for me. We touch on a few different topics that happen throughout history, throughout New York City's history. And for that, I've always been that person to, you know, have a few tools in my back pocket that I can use when I need them. And that was just what led to the inspiration of me creating that character.
Now, I'm curious to know, of course, you know, race is like a huge, you know, theme within the film, but are there any other themes Rhapsody in Justice explores?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it explores immigration. And actually, and ALC, if you're watching, we give you a nice shout out because you help a scene out with an immigration issue. We address a lot of the history where we've kind of come to pass where we really, as a people, stopped paying attention to what was really going on. And then we use children in the film, a new generation, to kind of wake us up. You know, that's one of the things that is, for me, heartwarming. You know, and I sincerely feel, and Imani has even expressed to me that she saw that younger generations, after, you know, the tumultuous 100 years after the Civil War, to MLK saying that, you know, that the check of, you know, our freedom was insufficient, to now, but there's been like the 80s, 90s, and the first of 2000s, we just kind of laid back. So,
and I also think that, you know, there is also this tone of a sisterhood. There's a bond as well with the film as well, with these three women who are all working at this cable station. They have worked together for a short period of time. They've grown this bond, and the relationships that they build, you know, we find that sense of friendship, but there's also that sense of family and working together. And I think with a lot of us, we can all agree, when you work together, you become a little bit of a family. Yes. So we explore a little bit of that aspect as well. Mm-hmm.
Now, I definitely want to say, with everything that's going on, we are now in the midst of another upcoming election, and it seems that, you know, history is mirroring what we saw in 2016, yes. And there are even some new methods to divide our country even further. Mm-hmm. How could this influence the way members react to this film, you know, now?
Well, this film is not going to change anyone's mind. If you have decided that, you know, Donald Trump is for you, you know, this film may actually disturb you. And not that we do anything harsh. We give it as it is. We do not alter points of view at all. This is your point of view. You know, let's let you see how we interpret that point of view that you're putting out and how it affects us. What we're hoping that it can do is, you know, maybe help increase voter turnout. You know, and not to say that the Black or Hispanic community are monolithic in their political views. They're not at all. But what has happened, and I know you talked about race and what else, but a lot of things just kind of come right back down to race, because the truth of the matter, and we address it in the film, is that Black and Hispanics are far more conservative than what the general public really knows and understands. It's the race issue that brings us together, and then we still, as we always had from slavery on, you know, hi Senator Tim Scott, had blacks who stood by suppressors. And, you know, we address all of these things, and again, it's heavy stuff, but we try to do it in somewhat of a humorous way to take some of the edge off.
And I definitely think that's an amazing way to get more people who sometimes say like, oh, I'm not into politics, or I'm not into, you know, kind of opens a new, you know, kind of avenue for people to kind of be open to it. So I definitely agree with that sentiment. Now, due to the current political climate we're in, you know, could you see a sequel being made or expanding the story even further, or is that something that you're even interested in?
Hey, you know, I mean, we're working on some things to get this film out there before the election. Like in my little fantasy brain, if you see these three ladies on this disc right here, I could see a television show developed with these three characters. I mean, you got to see the film and see what I mean. You know, they had their Charlie's Angels in the past, and then here you got Sister Tell It Like It Is, Sister Wanna Be Free, and Sister Truth. And I think there's enough within them to kind of develop that if that was so.
It's a possibility.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying. It's a possibility.
That's amazing. Now, can you just let everybody know where quickly where they can go to watch or support?
Well,
it's going to be coming out soon.
Yeah, here's the thing. We have a distribution deal. We've had a number of offers, and we've settled in, and the film is a bit delayed in coming out. You know, again, I can give my email address if people want to know how they can maybe see the film now, but we're pushing to get this thing out. I have executive producer Linda Hawkins, who has been a full-time job for a year, and then, you know, since I have this little platform, you know, I want to thank her, Mark Fratto, who's the cinematographer and an editor without I couldn't have done it, because it was he and I doing the back scene stuff. The top actors, Amber Anderson, who also directed a scene, Yaya, who co-directed a scene and did choreographer, everyone, Channing Jackson. I'm here because of Channing Jackson getting Aaron in touch with us, or us in touch with Aaron. So as a group, I am not here without all of my energy and everything is from them.
Well, you know, with that, I want to thank you both so much, you know, for taking the time to talk about this project and, you know, really share it with our community, because I think it's important. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
And this is for you.
Oh, thank you. That's amazing.
You know, and please watch
I can't wait to
tell
watch.
me, and please reach back and tell me what you think.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Thank you
We
so
love
much.
it. Thank you for having us.
If you would like to learn more about Rhapsody in Justice, please go to imdb.com and search Rhapsody in Justice. Stay tuned. We have more for you right after this.